On today's program, why should we learn Chinese?
To become more competitive.
I think it really sets foreigners apart.
Is Chinese difficult?
The grammar is easy, but the writing is hard.
Like any language, it takes a lot of time. You have to be immersed in the culture and
Practice, practice, and practice.
And we know how to say something, but we get the tones wrong, so our meaning is completely off.
I'll say something, and then they're not sure, so then they'll take their hand and they'll draw it for me.
Each character we know is a kind of a picture. Do you think it's like dragon?
Well... Hi, welcome to China Chats, a FaceTime production brought to you by Radio Guangdong and GDTV World. Today we're talking about learning Chinese. If you're overseas and you're studying Chinese or you're interested in studying Chinese, this is a must-watch. And if you're here in China, this is something that comes up basically on a daily basis. So to help me get in-depth in this topic, I have Lorna, who studies Chinese here in China. I have Karen, who's a teacher at Jinan University in Guangzhou. And I have Nick, who's a businessman from America, and you use Chinese in your business, that's right?
Absolutely.
So you import wines?
Yeah, import American wines from Oregon and Washington, and always interacting with Chinese customers. They don't speak a lot of English. A lot of them are kind of wealthier class, so they've really had no need to learn English. So even the basic fundamental Chinese shows I'm trying to learn something about the culture, I'm trying to interact with them in their language, and they really appreciate that, at least to start off a conversation.
So I want to know basically is why should we learn Chinese? What do you think, Karen?
Learning Chinese is a great way to help one get an advantage in this increasingly competitive business world. As we know that China right now is emerging rapidly or is growing rapidly as one of the greatest powers in this world.
So everyone wants to kind of get involved there, right?
Right. I think learning Chinese really can help one get a lot of opportunities to become more competitive.
Is this why you, Lorna, chose to study Chinese?
Well, my degree at the moment is in Chinese and business, so I'm hoping to get maybe into the business world or maybe tourism in the future. But I actually just came to study Chinese because I've been to China before and I really loved it. And although I couldn't understand what anyone was saying to me, but I kind of developed a bit of a fascination for the written language. And that's what I really enjoy learning at the moment.
Now, you have done basically what Karen was talking about, is that you learn Chinese so you can be involved in the business with China, and you've done that.
Yeah.
So how has Chinese really helped you there?
I think it really sets foreigners apart if you at least try to show you're trying to learn Chinese or trying to adapt to how they do business here, because it's so different doing business here than anywhere else in the world. And just trying to show, hey, I want to be part of this culture. It's for the long term. I'm just not here to make, you know, it's a very opportunistic and vastly growing market where a lot of people have earned a lot of money.
Yeah.
And to do that over the long term rather than just make it a short-term business shows, okay, this person is actually trying to develop a business in China. And
so
I think that's
it's
really
not only practically, it's also about respecting the culture.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I always, even the most basic conversations about why I like China, things I'm not used to, how it's different from America, if you can share those funny stories or anecdotes, they even say I speak Chinese like a foreigner, you know, and they think it's funny because I speak it how I speak English, so I know it's not right, but I show, hey, I'm trying to learn, and they appreciate that, definitely. And
just because, that little step you've taken will give you a little advantage in business then, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our biggest client right now, I've hosted him in the US a few times, and he has a lot of companies going for his business, but because I was the only foreigner who lives here, goes out to dinner with him, interacts with him on a regular basis, we've built a really, Guanxi, really solid, trustworthy relationship to where he decided to go with our company, which was great for us.
So I want to talk about how you study Chinese. First of all, is Chinese difficult?
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Lorna, what do you think?
I think the standard answer is that the grammar is easy, but the writing is hard.
What do you tell your students who say, this is so difficult? How do you motivate them and say, come on, you can do it?
Usually I may ask my students to imitate my writing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
we have exact the exercise book for writing Chinese characters. You
Okay.
know, Chinese characters are of kind of, we say, pictographic writing system.
Is that just another way of
writing.
saying it
So
just
it's
looks more
kind-
beautiful than English?
We can do that, you know.
Does look very
Like
nice.
each character, we know is a kind of a picture.
How important is the writing for learning Chinese? Could I just, maybe I want to learn Chinese, but I'm a bit lazy, I don't want to learn how to write and read. Could I still successfully learn to speak it?
Sure, I think,
Okay.
yeah. If you want to just focus on your speaking and listening, yeah, you just can practice listening and speaking. The Chinese writing system is really tough, I think, for
Yeah.
most Westerners.
How many characters are there?
It is believed to be around 60,000 Chinese
60,000.
characters.
They're so
1,000.
accurate.
So we have 26 letters in the alphabet, and you have 60,000 characters.
Well,
so it's a much
usually-
more, it's a much bigger thing to really get your head around.
They say for Chinese you have to have like a working capability of like 3,000 characters, right? To be
5,000.
5,000. Well,
5,000.
they've
To
upped
be
it.
To be the newspaper.
They've made it. They've
Right.
made it more difficult since I was studying Chinese. Yeah, so it's still a couple thousand characters to be able to read a newspaper.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing we always hear about in terms of the difficulty of Chinese is the tones. Can you run through them for us quickly?
I like to use ma. We know ma, mama,
Okay.
mother. So ma, 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 ma. So actually, we have 4 tones plus 1 natural tone. So some may say, oh, we have 4.5 tones.
4.5 tones, okay. Because this is the difficulty we always encounter, is we know how to say something, but we get the tones wrong, so our meaning is completely off. I was recently asking for a knife in a restaurant, and I said, can I please have a dao, dao, dao?
Yeah.
And I repeated it, and she just didn't know what I was saying. And then someone I was with said, it's dao, dao, the 4th tone.
No,
Second-
dao knife is the first tone.
there we go.
Dao,
Flat, not down.
yeah,
Flat.
first tone.
So if you don't know this, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to be understood. Now, I was wondering if you can just run through a basic conversation for us. So, because we're talking about Chinese today, but we want to hear some Chinese.
Give it a try.
Okay, we can have a try.
Okay.
罗娜，很高兴见到你。
哦，也高兴见到你。
你来中国多久了？
我已经就在这里1年。
是去年的什么时候来这儿呢？
9月来来到广州。
9月份来的广州。
对。
这是不是你第一次来中国？
不是2010年我就在新疆教英文。
Okay, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Thank you.
I was very
So,
interested in the
giving
color.
all the
yeah, I
life
was going to let that
story
go on.
now.
but- So, let's run through that slowly. First, we say, I'm so happy to see you here. Right? So, how did you say that?
罗娜，很高兴见到你。
And I just repeated it
And then you
back.
said, oh, yeah.
我
Yeah,
也
yeah.
很高兴见到你。
And then afterwards, you asked her.
How long in Guangzhou?
Ah,
你
okay.
来广州多久了 ？Right?
Okay, that means, so how long have you been in Guangzhou
Yeah,
for?
right.
And you answered?
Sorry, it was the wrong sentence order, but I said 我已经住在这里
1年了。
So I've already been here for 1 year.
Yeah. 我就问
I think
sorry,
then you
I
said.
forgot my
I think then
question.
you said then what
When,
were
when
you?
did you arrive last
Well,
year?
last year, when did you arrive? Yeah.
Yeah.
9月。
Yeah.
The 9th month. Okay. So in Chinese, we don't have those
September.
January, February, March, April, May.
Yeah.
We have the 1st month, 2nd month, 3rd month.
And same for
so
days
on.
of the week.
And same for days. Of the
Weekday 1, weekday 2.
Yeah. All right, that's enough of a lesson. I want to know. Probably the most important question is, how important is it being here studying Chinese compared to studying Chinese back home?
I think it's incredibly important. Being immersed in the culture, being here surrounded by, studying at university in the U.S., I was surrounded by Chinese 50 minutes a day, 3 times a week. So 2.5 hours of Chinese preparing to come study abroad was not nearly enough time compared to every time you step out of your apartment or every time you go to class, you're going to be surrounded just hearing the language and with my business partners, I saw them pick up the language much quicker than I was able to because we moved here and it was kind of that survival Chinese, just getting
you
the
forced
basics
it.
down.
You forced
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's something we forget is that people don't speak English generally on the streets here.
Yeah.
So if you want to really kind of make the most of your time here,
Yeah.
you've got to learn Chinese.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to know, in learning Chinese, have you had any embarrassing kind of lost in translation moments?
Yeah, I've had a lot. Not just learning, just trying to speak the
Trying to
language.
speak it, yeah.
Yeah, just all the time. Well, not all the time, but I go to a lot of shows and events, and they wanted to interview me in Chinese, and of course I'd been drinking a little wine. I said, sure, no problem. Didn't understand any of the questions, didn't understand what they were asking me, just sweaty on TV, trying to say why American wine was good, was what the conclusion
So
I
what
got.
could you offer them?
Just American wine is getting better and better in China, and I think it's very good.
So that would be 美国的红酒
我觉得在中国、美国的葡萄酒也越来越好。
越来越好 improve, right?
Yeah, it's getting
Okay.
better. And then 我觉得中国人应该喜欢喝美国的葡萄酒，因为哒哒哒哒哒哒
That's
哒。
pretty good.
Yeah, but it was they're asking. I was answering questions they weren't asking. I was going with what I knew I wanted people to hear because that's all I could answer. So.
And also just getting around. Say you get a taxi and you want to get to a destination. Do you have problems telling them where you want to go to?
It depends on the driver a lot. I mean, where they're from. Some people from, I think, certain provinces, they pronounce like fu instead of hu
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Or even, they just don't understand my tones, or they just shut it off when they see me, and I just have to repeat things 5 or 6 times for them to understand.
Yeah.
And it's my fault because I don't have the tones right. So, of course.
No, this happens a lot to me. Is I'm in a taxi, I'm saying something over and over again, the same thing over again, and then I don't understand why they don't get it. But then a Chinese friend will say the exact same thing, or I think it's the same thing.
Yeah,
And then he's like,
definitely.
"Oh, okay, I know," and I feel like I said that. I said that 4 times.
My favorite is when the taxi drivers, I'll say something, and then they're not sure, so then they'll take their hand and they'll draw it for me. And it's like, if I can't say it, do you think I
you're
can
gonna
read the
understand
invisible
that?
ink that you're writing on your hand?
What about you, Lon? Is studying Chinese? Have you had any funny moments?
I don't know. I just found the whole of first semester at school difficult. And whenever the teacher asks me a question, I just give her the blank stare, and I'm the only one in the class that doesn't seem to be following it.
Were you just placed in a very difficult class?
Yeah, we did a placement exam before the semester started, and I think it was multiple choice. So I think I just got in there by accident, and I don't understand what's going on. But I've caught up quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think here, like, it's just a learning experience. You have to accept it as such. Like, you're not going to be an expert. Like any language, takes a lot of time. You have to be immersed in the culture, and over time you'll pick it up. But
And you have to just accept there are going to be some embarrassing moments
oh yeah,
while
Oh,
you
yeah.
while you're figuring things out, but you'll get there. Do you have any other advice for people who are maybe overseas? They're interested in learning Chinese. They want to know how you should do it.
I think the golden rule for learning Chinese is practice, practice, and practice.
Okay.
If you want to improve your speaking, you need to keep speaking with like a Chinese native speaker. Yeah. If you want to improve your listening, sure, you have to listen to some Chinese radio program, watching Chinese movies. Yeah.
Just keep on the input. Keep it coming in.
Right.
I definitely say for learning the language, or if you want to be involved in China, you should 100% come here. Again, you just have to, just jump in with both feet and, see what happens, and
You
overall
can
it's a good
never
experience.
recreate China in a classroom
Yeah,
overseas.
absolutely
Even
not.
going down to the shop and buying fruit or something is more language practice than you're going to get in a classroom.
Yeah, like even the simplest things like grocery shopping, like when you go out and it's like, I want, and you don't know how to say it.
That's practice,
Yeah,
yeah.
you always remember like this is how you say banana, this is how you say chicken breast, this is, etc.
All right. Well, now I want to do a quick exercise. So maybe you can help me. What are we looking at right now?
This is the traditional Chinese character.
Okay.
Do you think it's like a dragon?
Well, I don't know about that. Does it look like a dragon to you?
It doesn't look like the dragon I know. Traditionally, I
So
could
that
see
means dragon, which is
Yes.
long. And these are traditional characters. So today, when you're in class, Lorna, you're not learning something like that.
No, the one on the right. Look how much easier that is.
Okay, so here we have the simplified versus the traditional.
Yeah, for study.
So this is important. So people need to know this. When they're learning today, most of the time you're learning the simplified version, not the traditional Chinese version.
As opposed to what they use in Taiwan and Hong Kong.
So why can't they just simplify it even further and just use what we call the pinyin?
We simplified traditional Chinese character in order to help people to learn Chinese and write Chinese in a quick way. Yeah, my generation and we don't know much about traditional Chinese characters. Yeah, we learned simplified Chinese characters.
But there is a fear then that these traditional characters or the traditional way of writing Chinese is eventually going to be lost.
It's hard to say because, with the development of technology, we can type the Chinese characters, by using the traditional way,
Okay.
I've had some co-workers trying to handwrite messages and they've forgotten how to write a certain character and had to check on their phone, type the pinyin into their phone and find it so they can remember how to write it because they just type the pinyin into the computer all day long.
You're mentioning pinyin. Can we just explain what is pinyin?
Oh, pinyin is the romanized version of Chinese.
So it's using the alphabet that we would use for English to write Chinese.
Yeah.
See, now, my ability limits me to just that, I can just use the pinyin. In fact, it would be so simple if everyone used pinyin, then I could understand things at restaurants, at bus stops, but that's not going to happen.
The problem with that is there's too many words which are the same in pinyin, but they have different characters.
Okay.
Sometimes, when I read pinyin, I think I'm too slow to recognize the meaning.
You have to really think about it.
So one of my clients I was telling you about, an older gentleman, he doesn't recognize any English, and so I can't type characters on my phone, but I typed Ni Zai Na Li, like, where are you? In English, and he called me and he was like, I can't read English. I'm like, that's Chinese.
It's Chinese.
He was like,
it's pinyin.
Yeah, he was like, what do you mean that's Chinese? Those are, English letters, so it's like what she said, it's just doesn't register yet.
I think, most of us are slow to recognize pinyin.
So now, you taught Chinese in America also. Did you find that it's becoming a very popular thing to learn?
Yeah, that's true. A lot of American students want to learn Chinese and they are interested in Chinese. Like in my class, we had around 25 students learning Chinese, which was a big class size.
So do you also find that back home there's a growing number of people who think it's important?
Yeah, when I was my freshman class, Chinese 101, there was, I think, 9 students. And then when I graduated in 2010, that same freshman class had gone up to 20-something. I mean, I was a small private university, but still, it reached a normal class size. It wasn't just something that people did for hobbies or didn't have a lot of focus. And also my high school has implemented, my former high school has implemented Chinese. So has a lot of school districts around the United States. I mean, Brazil as well. Everybody, there's a very big global focus on learning Chinese.
Because China is such a big growing power now.
Yeah.
I know that on campus here, the Zhongshan Dashui, where I'm studying, there's about 2,000 foreign students altogether. I'm not sure how many of them are only focusing on Chinese language, but I mean, there's a lot of classes there.
I get the feeling back home, and I tell people I'm here, they think I'm in such a privileged position because, you can speak Chinese, you're living in China, that's such an important place to be right now.
I think it really shows when you look, you said more than 2,000 foreign students, right? And I mean, Scotland, South Africa, I have friends from Morocco, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, all these places, and just shows, really the global community is focusing on China right now, which is great it's great for us being here already.
Yeah. All right, I think that's all the time we have for China Chats today. I would like to do something different when we're signing out today. We're going to do the same thing, but in Chinese.
感谢收看中国探。
下期节目再见。
再见。
再见。